What is happening, y'all? Good evening, Kevin Hawthorne. Hope things are well down there in Florida, sir. David, how are you, my man? Appreciate you popping in. Howdy T. Appreciate you guys all hanging out and watching the premiere we just dropped. It was so nice to actually get out and magnet fish. I don't really like taking 3 weeks off like that. But the weather hasn't been super cooperative lately. So we do what we can. I actually have a place planned out for this weekend. The storm really isn't supposed to get bad until like late Sunday evening. What's going on, Graham? How are you, my man? Appreciate you sneaking in. But anyways, because my job has me driving around everywhere. I happen to be driving down to an area in Hyannisport. What is going on, man? Appreciate you coming over. And as I went by one of these beaches that's like a really it's a big beach. Lots of people are there in the summer. Tons and tons of foot traffic. And I've never noticed that right at the end of the beach there's a river that feeds into the beach. And so I'm going to go check that place out. It's maybe 15 minutes from my house. So you can't beat that. The fact that it's only 15 minutes down the street, I will go there, and hopefully we can find some stuff. There's lots of foot traffic right through there because there's all like these cottages you can rent during the summer. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with the area. You may, Lou. Pops, what's happening, man? How are you? It's been a long time. Appreciate you sneaking in here. But I don't know if you know, Lou, Craigville Beach. It's a pretty poppin' place in the middle of the summer. You pretty much, if you're gonna drive, you don't drive anywhere near Craigville Beach because it's so packed full of people. And so I'm excited to try that bridge out. I know come summertime, I'm not gonna want to even go anywhere near the place. So I'm thinking Sunday before the storm rolls in on Monday, which is when I usually go out. Maybe I can get a couple hours in. And oh, there we go. Steven, what is happening, my man? Craigville Beach, yeah. So Steven, I never knew about that bridge that's right there, dude. As you're going into like Hyannisport, I had to go over to the Hyannisport golf club. Whatever, forget the name of it. But yeah, I went over that bridge and I was like, where did this bridge come from? Because I live here, and I don't ever remember there being a bridge there. So I am hoping that maybe there's some junk for me to clean up. Was over where I was in Hyannisport, wasn't too far away from where the Kennedy compound is. I was up over on God, what's the name of that street? I forget the name of the street, but it was near the Kennedy compound. And I also thought about this too, Stephen. And over by Four Seas, the ice cream place, is that bridge that all the kids jump off of and stuff in the summertime. I might try to hit that also before the summer hits, because I would love to see what type of stuff these people do. What they drop when they're jumping in the water. There's at least a couple of those bridges. There's one out in Sandwich, and let's see who that is messaging. Oh. Okay. A friend of mine is just reaching out about some Great Pyrenees dogs. Hey, Carly, how are you? Appreciate you sneaking in there. But yeah, that bridge that I was talking about, lots of kids jump into it. And we all know when you're jumping in the water, sometimes you forget, maybe you got your phone in your pocket, or maybe as you jump, your watch falls off. There's a possibility of finding stuff there. So if I don't do too well at the Craigville location, maybe I'll just hit both spots in the same day. So that's going to be my go-to this week because of the storm. What is this person chatting about? Oh, okay. Onset at a bridge like that, I thought, and the kids like to jump off of it. You'll have to let me know maybe where that is. I haven't had much luck in like the Onset Wareham area at all, Carly. I've been up there before. Me and Josh from 508 actually hit a marina in Wareham once, and his son was with us. And after about an hour and a half of finding absolutely nothing, we decided to give it up. He went home, took his son, and they headed back to where they live off Cape. And as I was driving home, I kind of passed over this very, very, very small bridge, and I pulled over on the side of the road. And that was the video of when the ghost was talking to me. Just a random bridge out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm sure everybody here has seen it. If you haven't, I'll see if I can't find it. Maybe I can play it. But I found like a car dump. There was a whole bunch of car parts, and I was actually commenting about a muffler that I had pulled out. And sure enough, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely a muffler." And something answered back. And I didn't notice it the day of. Heck, I didn't even notice it when I first did the video. But then I had gotten a different pair of headphones. And when I was doing some editing, I actually heard the voice talking to me. I'm going to see if I can't find it real quick. Let's see. Oof. I'm sure that's, let's see, content. Let's search. Shorts. Let's see. Search across my channel. Ghost. Okay. Let's do that. We're gonna stop that real quick. Let's see if I can show you guys this. Let's see. That's awesome. In the woods where I go, I've heard my name. Oof, that's scary. I've been out to other areas looking for weird stuff. I think you and I have talked about it. Maybe even last week we were talking about the Bridgewater Triangle and stuff like that. But this one, I'm going to show it to you guys right now. Let's see, share screen. We're going to share this. Share. Let's add that to the stage. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that too well. But let's play it. I don't know, you're gonna have to maybe turn the video up a little bit, but let's see how this comes out. I'll play it.
Looks like an exhaust system, maybe. That's pretty much exactly what it is. That's pretty much exactly what it is.
Yeah, so there you go. I don't know if you heard that. I can play it again, but you can actually hear a voice saying "yeah" back to me. I was like, "Yeah, it's an exhaust," and sure enough, there was a voice that said, "Yeah." Why is it doing that? Yeah. An actual local guy around here. He has this radio show up in Provincetown, and he heard about that, and he talks a lot about paranormal and stuff like that on his radio show. And I sent him the video, and he ended up having me up on the radio to talk about it. And we talked about other like weird ghost stories and stuff because, obviously here on the Cape, there's just so much history, and I've had other experiences as well. Like when I was working for Comcast, I was working under a store in Provincetown, really, really, really old store. And I was down there fixing some phone wiring that some mice had chewed through or something. And oddly enough, I I started repairing it. I had my hands up or whatever. And I'm telling you guys, like straight up, there was nothing around me. Like I was downstairs in this basement alone. There wasn't any tables behind me. There wasn't anything that I could have bumped into at all. But as I'm sitting there splicing a piece of wire together, something took its finger and poked me right in the back. And when I went upstairs and I was talking to the ladies that were in the kitchen, I was like, "Hey, you guys got something weird going on downstairs?" And they were like, they asked me, they were like, "Oh, did you get touched?" And so I guess it's not abnormal for that place. Let's see. Definitely hears things in certain spots and encounter things. Oh, you had a friend watching you. Yeah, she was right over me. Like it sounded, Carly, like she was right over my shoulder when she said that. It was really, really, really clear. I don't know. Yeah, there's also walk through some of the cemeteries in Wallfleet. That's a pretty good idea. You know what we used to actually do, Stephen, and maybe you guys did this as kids too. We had all heard the stories of Tony Costa growing up. If anybody doesn't know anything about Tony Costa, back in the 60s, 70s, I think, he lived here on the Cape, and he was Cape Cod's only known serial killer. And he had actually killed people and like did stuff with them out in Truro. And we used to always try to go and find some of his spots. And we would just freak ourselves out. You know what I mean? Nothing ever really happened, but we just freaked ourselves out. That was interesting. There are so many different haunted places around here. Taps, which is that old show Ghost Hunters, they have investigated the Orleans Inn, which is obviously in the town of Orleans. They've also done the old Yarmouth Inn, which isn't too far from my house, and they've had experience at both places. So we have quite the history of paranormal stuff. I'm not sure I'm convinced. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link, T, because I did no editing to it. That is literally the voice. Yeah, let's see. No joke, the house I live in now, I was born in a 6-family apartment in New Bedford, and I've talked to all the tenants there. They all had the same thing happen to them. Well, what was the same thing that happened to them? What is that? New Bedford has a lot of those types of places. My grandmother, you know what? I think hers might have been like a 6 apartment type of place too, because it was 3 levels and an apartment on each side. And she used to live up on Putnam Street. Oh, I'm sure it's the land, because it was all, Native American, indigenous back in the day. But I think that was the name of it. It was Putnam Street. There's a bunch of apartment houses. Same thing what you're talking about. 3 levels, 6 apartments. She lived on the 3rd, and my uncle actually lived on the across the hallway. I'm not a fan of creepy things. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a super believer either, my man. But there are just some things that you can't explain. I mean, that was a literal voice. I'm telling you, swear on my kids and all that stuff. There was something. No, it's definitely not South Dartmouth. It was definitely New Bedford. Maybe Purchase Street, Putnam or Purchase. I don't know. That is crazy that you are saying that, Carly, because my grandmother in the apartment that she's talking about, she used to talk, and we always thought she was a little bit loopy. She said one time her bedroom was the very, very back of the apartment. And when she had her bedroom door open, it would look right into like the dining room / kitchen area. And she says that she used to see shadow figures in that apartment. She said actually at one point in time, and this is what made us really think that she was loopy. She said that one point in time she saw a shadow figure holding the hands of like two young girls standing in the doorway. Standing in the doorway, kind of going like this, almost like calling her over, which is kind of weird. But I'm not sure I put much credence behind what my loopy grandmother was saying. She was a bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't believe something until it happens to you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying all of it's real, but just exactly what Carly is kind of saying, you know, there's a lot of energy that we carry with us. I mean, we are literally made of energy. I mean, that's what our brain does, is it fires and, you know, sends all these different signals to the other parts of our body. So it definitely makes sense. I mean, and energy doesn't just pass on. So when we pass, you know, regardless of what you believe, I believe that energy continues. So I agree completely, Carly. 100%. Carolina agrees too, right? See? She knows what's going on. Yeah, neutrality is good. Question everything, T, until you see it and or hear it yourself. There was another place not too far actually from the river I was at the first part of this week's video. There used to be this little gift shop called Captain's Cargo, and it was right there on Herringbrook River. So the satellite array. Yeah. Those types of things freak me out anyways. I remember there was something last summer or whatever, and there were lots of talks of drones being seen everywhere. And we actually had one out in our backyard. That was pretty strange, but I don't think those were aliens. I think there were just some dopey person flying drones around. But anyways, Captain's Cargo. So growing up, there was a friend of mine. He lived there. His parents owned it, and there used to be this old widow's walk on the top of the house. And for those of you who don't know what a widow's walk is, they were on houses that were a lot. Yeah, that I know. I know that. I did my junior paper on the Salem witch trials. But anyways, widow's walk. It was almost like this deck that people would put on the top of their houses, and it was meant for the wives of fishermen. You know, they would wait, or, you know, maybe their husband was late or something like that, and they would sit up on that walk, and they would just literally watch the river for their husband's boat to be coming in. And anyways, this home was, there was a woman named Mary who lived there and lost her husband. And supposedly, when she was around, different things would happen to people. She would affect everybody differently. And for whatever reason, whenever Mary was in the room, my nose would just open up and I would just start leaking from my nose. And that's how we knew that Mary was around. It didn't help any that we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe we were somehow that veil was thinner because we were playing with that stuff. But it was very interesting. I still see drones and they make it off like they're planes, but they hover. Yeah, that's why they're drones. I don't think that these are alien ships, but somebody's definitely behind them. You know, some of these really, really, really high-end drones, Carly, can go miles away from where you actually are. I mean, some of them you even need like an actual federal license to operate because of the airspace and stuff like that. But there was one right on the corner of our property one day, and it wasn't going anywhere. We were trying to like talk to it. I even like threw a rock at it trying to get it to leave, and it didn't go anywhere. So I don't know. That was pretty interesting. My phone keeps blowing up here. So I'm seeing a friend of mine actually talking about how she'll live in old too. This house that I live in wasn't old. I'm older than this house. But the funny thing about this house that I live in now, Carly, check this one out. So when I was like 15 or 16 years old, I had this best friend named Thomas. And when he started driving after 16, you didn't have like a junior's operator's license like we do now. When you got your license at 16 years old, you were allowed to take people with you. So we would go over this friend of ours' houses, Tony and Greg, and we would hang out. You know, we were very young, so obviously we would party or whatever, get ourselves into stupid trouble. I bought this house and I posted a picture of it, and a friend from that friend group back then was like, "Hey, Nate, I think that's Tony and Greg's house." And I was like, "No way." There's no way that that could be true because I just bought it. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Go in the bathroom and see if there is red paint." And sure enough, if you go in my bathroom and you shut the door, the back of the door has red paint. This was the house I used to hang out in when I was a kid. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons is so mild. I'd save you a queen with a Ouija board. Yeah, I've played with many of those when I was younger. I don't really play around with that stuff anymore. Now I just enjoy watching all these ghost hunter people. It's kind of like my God, what is the word? My guilty pleasure. To what I love watching ghost hunting shows. I know a lot of them are fake. I know a lot of them are just hype, but there's just something to be said of watching them get scared. You know, I love watching people get scared. Yeah. So pivot a little bit. Back in the video, you heard me talk about Global Magnificent Day. I know I talk about it every time now. T and Ken, I don't know if you were still in here or not, but I would love to know if you were mentioning something about you might be putting on an event out in that area. We don't even have to put a location up there, but if you guys are willing to, share an email address when you're putting that stuff together, just let me know. I want to update that. I'm trying to update the location of where ours is. I was originally trying to do Waltham, but I haven't been able to hear from anyone at all. There was a guy, he said he was going to check some legalities of it because supposedly the bridge is owned by one group, the DOT, Mass DOT. They run the bridge. There's another, the Parks Department or something like that actually owns the grassy area. And then the bridge the river itself is overseen by another person. That's literally 3 different departments I have to get clearance from. And I'm just not, I don't want to have to deal with that. So there was a bunch of weeks ago where I did a video in Medfield where I found like 4 bullets. And then the next week I did a train bridge. I think we're going to go there. So I think I might actually announce that spot. Good Lord, what is this? Yeah. Red tape, my sworn enemy. Absolutely. It's so much bullcrap, my man. This one guy, he literally told me, and I wish I had saved his phone number. It just got lost. But Massachusetts is just so backwards with all of the hoops you got to jump through, literally just to clean the river. It's not like it's not like we're trying to. We don't want to have a party there. We don't want to have a street fair. We're not selling stuff. There is no commerce whatsoever. We're just cleaning up the water. Sure, there might be a bunch of people there, but it's a Sunday, first of all. So it's not like the place is going to be slammed. And it's a good opportunity, for them to have their water cleaned out. So, you know what? Maybe I'll just announce the Waltham place, because what are they going to really do? Kick us out? And who the heck from those departments works on the weekend anyways? Right? So I think in Waltham, Carly, it's the reason why I'm choosing Waltham is because, you know what? I'll even do this. Check this out. I will open up Google Earth and I'll show you guys the location. Okay. That's not Google Earth. That's Canva. Yeah, we're just going to go. It's right, T. Screw it. There's no law that says I can't do it. So let's just check this out. Here we go. Search. As soon as I find this spot, guys, I will bring it up on the screen, because it is an absolutely amazing spot. Okay, there we go. Is that it? This is it. Yes. Okay. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to share that screen. Here we go. Get rid of this one. Stop that screen. Let's go here. Share screen. Oh, where we? Oh, there we go. Window. Google Earth. Share. Let's see. Go back here. Add to stage. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I'm going to use my cursor to kind of show you guys my idea of this place. So, obviously right here, you would have your bridge. I was right about here 2 years ago and pulled up a projectile. But down over here, see this nice little green space, guys? That's a really cool spot to maybe set up a tent and stuff like that, where I can, bring a cooler with drinks and stuff like that. So we've got this whole green area with this raging part of the river right here, because there's a little dam. Like I said, we've got both sides of this bridge. And then this whole spot over here on the left is almost like a river walk. And you can see there's even a dock down below for like kayak rentals and whatever. So there's just a ton of area to cover. And that's exactly my plan. It ought to be a really juicy spot, T. It's one of my favorite places to go to. Yeah, easily one of my favorite places to go to. Stop. That's why I have to be outlaw. I call myself outlaw artifact hunting. There you go. I do care though. I'm one of those types of people. I'm one of those types of people that I would rather ask first, especially when I was doing the couple times I did metal detecting. I would never go on anybody's property that I wasn't supposed to be on. But all the marinas I've gone to, I've always asked them before I've shown up. It's just more of a respect thing, and they expect you to be there. So rather than them be surprised that they see somebody magnet fishing, I just give them a quick alert. And you know what? That little bit of respect goes a long way, because next time when you ask them for permission, they're like, you know what? You cleaned up after yourself. You dealt, yeah, you dealt with being respectful. So they'll invite you back. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put that address on there, or at least the town. That way people know what town we're going to be in. And if they decide to call me and tell me that it's a no-go, then it's a no-go. So this live is doing something just like it did last week. Last week, you guys, right now it's telling me, even though T, Carly, Artie, all of us, we're all talking, it's literally telling me that there are 0 people in here. Yep, I always ask first, T. Especially if I know it's private property. If it's public property, I don't ask. I mean, I still treat the place with respect and I don't leave trash behind. If I literally can't take it, I don't pull it. You know what I mean? So, and you can ask Carolina, there are piles and piles and piles of metal in our yard.
What, right now they're bloated by snow.
Yeah, so right now, the snow is doing great things for my metal stash because it's hiding it.
Quiet time.
Everything's white outside. You can't see any garbage around the yard. I'm sure the neighbors don't like that. Yeah, it is weird it's doing it. Right now it shows 4, which is what there actually is. But even when I look at last week's stats, T, when I see 0 on the screen, it showed me in the stats that there were actually people in here. So I don't know if it's a StreamYard thing or if it's a YouTube thing. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's what I'm actually looking to do is I still have a little bit of legwork to do, but I would like to do it as a fundraiser because it's an opportunity where there will be lots of people around, not only just magnet fishers, but I know it's going to create curiosity. I mean, every time I've been out at that bridge, people have talked to me, and I have talked to town councilors before. So the second time we were out there, it was me, my son Colin, and Talia was with us, and one of the town council people actually came up and they were like, "Hey, were you the guy that, you know, a few months back you had found an explosive over on the other side?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was." And they said that they had a town meeting and that they had brought that up and how appreciative they were that we had cleaned that stuff out. Yeah. Some stuff is going to museums. I really wish I found something that was worthy of a museum, T, but I haven't found anything like that yet. There is a spot I would love to check out. Where was that again? Where was what again? The location? Waltham. Yeah, Waltham. I'll get you an address closer to the event day. I don't want to like exactly put the address out there because I don't want somebody to hear that we're holding an event there and find out that, you know, between now and then, 15 magnet fishers have shown up and cleaned the place out. Yes and no. We have a lot of very like cool historical places around here that really treat a lot of the stuff with care. So, you know, but these are something that, like you guys out there, T, you guys find all the time. You ever seen one of these, Carly? It's a caltrop. Do you know what a caltrop is? I got a bunch of them that a guy named Chris Maybe sent to me. Those are history, you know, and I kept those for myself. You won't need a magnet. I have one battle magnet. I've got my battle magnet, which is a big one. I've got 2 cubes. I've got a Kratos Titan. I've got so many magnets, and I'm going to bring every single one of them. I'm probably going to buy new ropes beforehand, so that way everybody's using nice new ropes. You don't know what those are? All right, so a caltrop was something they used back in the day, usually around Civil War era. And like you saw, they were little stars. They would throw them in pathways that like horses were taking and stuff like that. And it was meant to like twist their ankles. I mean, it's not a very kind thing, you know, but where are you going? Got a kitty cat that came to say hi.
I feed her and then she goes and eat it.
Yeah, you feed her and then she comes and jumps in my lap. Yeah, that's the way it works. Yeah, we got a bunch. That's Rascal Chris. He pulls up tons of them. Rascal pulled a fast one when he loaded up that day. We got them all. Oh, so what are you saying? These caltrops are third party caltrops, T? Maybe it ripped you off? Oh, I'm sure that's exactly sure that's where we got it from, you know? That's where we got the idea from. Absolutely. I'm sure of it. Yeah, it would jam up their feet. It would jam them up. It would hobble them. They would twist ankles. I did a little bit of looking into what those caltrops were used for. They're nasty, nasty little buggers. They wouldn't even just put them on land. They would put them in the water, which is why you find them in rivers, because as the horses were trying to cross, it would buckle their legs and then the rider would fall in the river. And depending on how, excuse me, guys, depending on how fast that river is moving, you know, that dude possibly drown, you know. Those caltrops are nasty looking things. But I not only keep the caltrops there, but I've got different bullets that I've found. They're definitely not historical bullets, but I try to keep all the cool stuff. This is actually something really, really neat. This is something super neat. This is what's called, oh God, I forget what it was called, but my buddy in from Magnet Mischief, Richard Rice, he sent this down for me, and this would be used to like grab onto logs and stuff in the river. He sent that to me. It's pretty cool. We don't have those types of things around here. We don't have a very big logging industry on Cape Cod. Heck, some of our trees aren't even as close to tall as most trees in the rest of the US. But yeah, what other cool stuff do I got that I found that's really close by? I don't know. Oh, okay. No, those are Chris's, but he faked us out like he threw them all back. Oh, I gotcha. That sounds like maybe. You guys are always messing around out there. T, one of these days, I am seriously telling you, I mean, I would love to come out there to that spot and meet up with all of you guys and just have a really fun day out there. You all look like a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a grabber. I just forget the name of it. Carly. He used a term where it was a log dog or something like that. I think that's what he called it. Log dog. Sounds silly, but regardless, it's something cool. Anyways, we're getting pretty close to 8:30, guys. I am going to start heading out. I really, really appreciate the fact that you guys hang out. Nothing super exciting going on, but I still appreciate it. And crave for warm weather soon, because I'm tired of all the snow. I have a rack, no joke. I have a rock, no joke, with a human neuron. Wow. Please do. I'll have to find you on Facebook. We do have I have a profile. It's just called Nate Cape Cod Magnet Crew. You can find me. Log dog. Looks like a horseshoe, but with pointed ends. Okay, that makes sense. All right. But I am taking off, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Find me on Facebook. Steven, you were lingering on there, man. I didn't realize you were still hanging around. Appreciate y'all hanging out. we'll talk to you all next week. Maybe if the wind decides to behave, maybe I can go live while we're magnet fishing. So anyways, I'm out, guys. Appreciate y'all. Adios.